Hello all. Today we are going to learn about the basic introduction to the programming languages. That is, why does these programming languages are required? How these will be executed, or else what is the need of this programming languages? Here, this in the sense means whichever the programming languages are there. That is, like different languages are there. We know like C, C++, Java, etc. Right? So how we are telling that those are the programming languages, right? So first is introduction to the programming languages, which is the basic thing to be known for each and every programmer, right? So here comes what is the programming language actually. Programming language is a set of symbols, grammars, rules with the help of which one is able to translate algorithms to programs that will be executed by the computer. So in short, what he was trying to tell in this one single sentence is whatever the rules that you are framing for developing a programming language. What are the rules in the sense? See, if you just take a our general English language, what rules that we will generally use is that a sentence should start with an capital letter and a sentence should end with a semicolon, sorry, full stop. So like that, we do follow rules for the general language, either it is Telugu or English or whatever it may be. Right? In similar fashion, we also require some set of grammar rules for each and every programming language, right? So how we are using with the help of one algorithm, translate algorithms to programs. So before this, before you are writing a program, you need to know how we are going to write an algorithm. So simply if you will take an example, like if you wanted to go somewhere, right? So what will you do? First of all, how many members are there in your family, how you are trying to live, you'll calculate the budget. That is either what is your budget, according to that budget you will be planning out your trip to go somewhere, right? In the similar fashion, when you're trying to execute some particular task, then what you all need to do is first you need to collect what are the requirements are there. That is, as we know that consider an example for addition of two numbers. What all you require is two numbers, that is some inputs A and B, and it will after addition it will give some resultant value, right? So overall you need some three variables like that. A will have some value, B will have some value, and on addition you will get another some resultant. That resultant I was trying to keep it in my another variable, and finally you are giving the, you got such so and so resultant, right? So before that, so if I wanted to do that addition, I should know that I want these so and so variables, I need to give these values for that. When it is added, then I can, that can be stored into another new variable. So what I was doing, I was just framing out some steps in order to do that addition of a two variables, right? So that is what it means actually. Which one is able to translate algorithms to programs that will be executed by the computer. So after writing algorithm, after giving some symbols, grammars, and rules for that algorithm, then your computer will be able to execute the program, the program, right? So the programmer communicates with a machine using programming language. So if I wanted to communicate with my computer, definitely I need to know some programming language. If suppose I'm trying to write some document, definitely I should know MS Word. If I wanted to create some Excel sheet, then obviously I have to know the Excel operations also. So what we are trying to do, we are trying to communicate with the machine with some interfaces. So in the example which I said is with the MS Office, I'm trying to do all my works, right? So here in this also, if you wanted to do some work with any programming language, you need to know, the programmer should be able to communicate with that computer, right? And then next comes, most of the programmings have a highly structured set of rules. Yes, each and every programming language is having a structured set of rules. That is, if suppose you will write some C program, right? Then the basic thing is you need to include like your header files, and then you will write some program, and then you need to close. So all those rules has to be followed compulsorily for each and every programming language. Whatever the programming it may be, it is strictly following the rules which are being framed by the concerned programming language. Next comes, so before writing that program, we need to know actually how many types of programming languages are there, right? So there are generally three types of programming languages. As I said, classification of programming languages are of three types. That is, first one is high level language or high level language, and assembly level language, and machine level language. So if you'll see closely observe, programming languages are categorized into machine languages, assembly languages, and high level languages. So we'll see each and every type of language in the coming slide. So yes, what is a machine language? So machine language, what can you tell that what is generally a language, right? So generally a language is a media for communication. See, if I know only Telugu and you know only English, how can I communicate with you, right? Either some mediator has to be there in order to convert Telugu to English and English to Telugu, or else at least you should know Telugu, or else even I should know English, right? In the similar fashion, when you are trying to communicate with the computer, right? When you're trying to know how the computer is going to work or how it is going to execute the program, we also require some mediators. So regarding mediators, we'll see later. But before that, as I said, we are having three types of languages, programming languages. First one is high level, low level or middle level also you'll tell, and also machine level. High level, low level, middle level. For that, the other names are high level language, middle level is nothing but your assembly level language, and machine language is nothing but your low level language. So all three are together are same: high level, low level, middle level, or else high level, assembly level, machine language. High level is how you are going to speak, right? And low level is how the machine is going to understand. That is, low level languages are for the machines only, and high level languages are for the human beings only, and middle level languages are, or the assembly level languages are nothing but those are um, partially understandable by the user. That is exactly what the machine, whatever the code you are writing, that is exactly not understandable because you will have some formula symbols in that, right? So it is partially understandable by the user. So first we'll see what is the machine language. So as I said, machine language is completely understandable by the system only. So if you'll just closely observe there, the point is machine language is a collection of binary digits or bits that the computer reads and interprets. So you don't get much confused regarding that. You can just simply tell that machine language is understandable by computers only because you will follow only the binary bits, that is zeros and ones, to do whatever the operation, to work whatever the thing is. The machine can understand only the language 0 and 1. Machine cannot understand. If I tell hi, machine cannot understand. That will be decoded into zeros and ones. Then the machine will be able to understand, right? So machine language is only language a computer is capable of understanding, and it is always the combination of zeros and ones. Next comes machine level language is a language that supports the machine side of the programming and doesn't provide human side of the programming. Yes, that's what I was telling. Machine level language is only understandable by the machine. It doesn't provide any human understandable programming. Clear? So then next comes, as I said, it consists of only the binary values, that is nothing but your zeros and ones. And then next comes our assembly level language. So as I said, assembly level language is also nothing but your middle level language. You know, half Telugu, half English like that. Half zeros and half high level language will be there in your assembly level language. So assembly level language is easier to use than the machine language. So generally these assembly level languages will be using in your MPI subject, right? Where you will be giving directly addition, subtraction. For everything, you will be having code like add 3, 4 or sub 3, 4. So like that, you can give directly value so that operations will be done. You need not specifically create some variables. There, generally, you'll be using all the directories, registers and all. So assembly level languages are generally used in your MPIs, right? So next, an assembler is useful for detecting the programming language. So always your assembly level language. See, as I said, if I do something like half English and half Telugu, at least to some extent, I will be able to understand whether I had prepared, whether I had given any error information or any error operations or not. Right? In the similar fashion, their assembler will work here. Next, programmers do not have absolute address of data items. Assembly language encourage modular programming. So here, as I said, the programmer doesn't know what actually happens in the system, but he will be able to understand what the program is going to be done there, right? Because he don't know, as I said, if I wanted to access some value from so and so specific address from so and so location, I can't tell that one, right? If I tell simply add 3, 4, I don't know where that is going and stored in that particular register storage of the system, right? So in detail, the programmer doesn't come to know the things, but to some extent, he'll be able to understand the content, right? And then next comes our high level language. As I said, high level language supports the human and the application sides of the programming. High level languages are nothing but the languages which are understandable by the human beings. Clear? And as you know, you are creating many programming languages like C, C++, Java, Python, and whatnot. Different programming languages are being developed, right? So all the programming languages, whatever we are using, all those are high level languages only. That is the reason you are able to understand those programming languages easily. For what purpose you are developing all those high level languages is simply for the programming side, right? Next comes a language is a machine independent way to specify the sequence of operations necessary to accomplish a task. So according to your specifications, that is, if you want a Java program, then you need to code it in a Java. If you wanted to make the same thing in your C program, then you need to go according to your C language rules, right? So then a line in a high level language can execute powerful operations and corresponds to tens or hundreds of instructions at machine level language. So if you will just give a simple statement that you wanted to print hello, right? So that simple statement is very executive, powerful operations, but according to your machine, it is going to take some lines of code, hundreds to thousands. Why I was telling like this is, if I just simply tell printf hello or hello world, then what it should do? First of all, our system should take the compilation, that is compiler has to be done, whether you had written all the instructions properly or not, right? It will check all your content, rules, regulations of that particular language, and then it will be given for your compiler. Then it will check out if any errors are there, and then if any variable declarations are there, you need to assign for that memory, you need to assign for that registers, and then you need to perform addition. So then you will be linking for your libraries if you require, and finally you will get some output, and that output has to be printed for the user. In this much of work has to be done internally in the system, right? And next, consequently, more programming is now done in high level language. As I said, yes, examples of your high level languages are C, C++, etc. Yes, as I said, next is compilation. So what is compilation is? how the program is being converted from high level to a low level language, right? So simply if I just give add, if I write some addition program, how the system would act, take the input values for that. You are doing for 2 variables or 3 variables or for 4 variables. Yes, either you are taking the decimal values or the pointed values. You need to check out everything, right? So what our compiler will do? The compiler program translates the instruction of high level language to a machine level language. So a separate compiler is required for every high level language. Yes, this is a damn sure thing that every language will have its own compiler. That is, C is having C compiler, Java is having Java C compiler. So like that, each and every programming language will have different compiler in order to convert that particular high level language to your low level language. Next, high level language is simply a programmer's convenience and cannot be executed in their source. That is what that point indicates is. So whatever the code you are trying to write, that is for simplicity of you only. You cannot execute that source actually. Can you execute? No. If you'll write some program in your notepad, what will happen? Are you going to execute with that in your notepad? No. Right? So that is just for the programmer convenience only. We are using that high level language, but it cannot be executed in their source. And then whatever the high level program you are writing, that is nothing but your source program you will tell, or source code also you will tell, right? And it is compiled, that is the source code is compiled or translated to machine language program called object program for that machine by the compiler. Such compilers are nothing but your self-resident compilers. So what this last point indicates is, when you're trying to convert low level to machine level, an object code will be generated by the compiler. So whenever that object code is generated, that particular type of compilers are nothing but your self-resident compilers, right? So this is regarding compiler. And then the last one is compiler compiles a full program and reports the errors at the end. So this was one of the another important task of your compilation, right? So it is going to compile your code and report all the errors at the end. So generally basic idea. See, as I said, if you know English and I know only Telugu, I wanted to communicate with you, right? I just wanted to tell hi for you. So then what will happen? Sorry, hi, not hi. I wanted to tell how are you, right? You, oh, fine. You are asking me, how are you? So how can I understand that? How are you? So what I'll do, if I keep some mediator, some communication system between you and me, then what will happen? That middle person will convert how are you into the other one, ela unnaru, right? So in the similar fashion, here the compiler will translate the high level language to the low level language. So here, whatever you telling are nothing but your high level language. Whatever I was listening from you is my low level language. So you can consider this as one of the example. And yes, while compiling also, you will have different steps, that is how the program is being converted into the low level language, that is to the machine level language. So we'll see those steps in the next lecture, right? So that's all for today's lecture. Thank you.